CW11 News at 10.
A consumer alert. Tax time is here, and so are the scams. Crooks coming out of the woodwork with promises to save you money and stealing it instead. So, with a week to go until April 15th, what are the worst scams to watch out for so you don't become the next victim? That's the subject of tonight's Fact Finders Report. Here's Peter Thorne. Peter.
Katie, tonight expert advice on how to protect both your peace of mind and your hard-earned cash from scammers using every trick in the book to separate you from your money. And what about those people telling folks you don't really have to pay taxes at all, right? Tonight, Fact Finders takes a quick look at those controversial claims. Did these two help you with your taxes? If so, you'd better check your return, because the IRS sure is, and you might face an audit. This mother and son who helped prepare taxes for people from our area, accused of trying to bilk the government out of tens of thousands of dollars.
Patty and Harold Bunbury are return preparers from Staten Island, and they were charged in a 38-count indictment preparing false tax returns.
They reportedly deny the charges. Whatever happens in this tax scam case, the IRS is making the case that right about now is when last-minute tax filers are most vulnerable to scam artists.
Being tax time, the scam artists come out of the woodwork. What we try and do, as soon as we hear of new ones, is to alert the public to them. And probably the biggest thing lately going is the phishing scams.
No, not that kind of phishing. He's talking about scammers looking to get your personal financial information, then use that to drain your bank account.
They may be asking you for personal financial information. They may ask you to click on attachments. We never send out unsolicited emails to taxpayers.
And the IRS won't call you either unless you've already called them first and you're expecting a call back. If you're not expecting a call from the IRS and you get one, ask for the person's callback number and their supervisor's name. Chances are you're going to hear a dial tone real quick. But the scams just keep coming. A new one involves the upcoming tax rebate checks, the so-called stimulus payment scam.
Scam artists were calling people up on the telephone and saying that they were with the Internal Revenue Service, but before the rebate could be paid out to that person, the person had to give their bank account information to the scammer.
Sometimes even the most sophisticated people can be tripped up because they believe they're speaking to someone who happens to be an IRS representative.
But when it comes to funny money, the IRS isn't only worried about you getting scammed, they're worried about the government getting ripped off by people trying to hide income to avoid taxes. And when it comes to such accused tax schemers, celebrities are just like anyone else, just with a lot more money at stake. Actor Wesley Snipes, he's made millions starring in action movies like Blade, in which he battles bloodthirsty vampires. But in real life, the feds claim Snipes sunk his teeth into a controversial tax scheme. The actor indicted in 2006 on millions in tax evasion charges. Snipes was convicted for failing to file a tax return, but acquitted of other charges. And actor Nicolas Cage, the superstar accused of wrongly writing off millions in personal expenses, something he denies.
What you looking at, punk?
Nothing, I was just mind on your cage.
The IRS list of suspicious tax schemes is long, including trying to hide income offshore, falsely claiming a fuel tax credit, or filing a bogus W-2, which, as fact finders found out, is shockingly easy to do since you can buy blank W-2 forms, just like we did, at any big office supply store and fill in whatever you'd like. And what about people who use a variety of arguments to claim the government has no right to collect taxes in the first place?
Most of these arguments, if not all of them, are baseless.
Still, fact finders found clip after clip on YouTube delving into this controversial claim.
There is no constitutional basis for a tax on the wages of Americans living and working in the 50 states of the Union. Period. End of argument.
Congress enacted the 16th Amendment. Many courts, including the Supreme Court, have opined that the 16th Amendment authorizes the assessment and collection of taxes.
And as this mother and son tax preparation team found out the hard way, the government intends to collect every penny that's due. I know it's a lot to take in, but don't worry, Fact Finders has got you covered. For a link to the full list of tax scams you need to watch out for, the so-called Dirty Dozen, and how to avoid them, check out our website, cw11.com/factfinders, where you can also tell us what stories you want looked into in depth. And guys, obviously there are a lot of scammers out there on the loose. The IRS says already 33,000 complaints just on the Internet based scams
You know,
alone.
with financial hard times here right now, too, and people needing cash and having a hard time getting loans, they might be that much more vulnerable to it.
Might fall prey to it. Best advice from the IRS and from CPAs we talk to is try your best to use your common sense. If it sounds good, too good to be true, it probably is.
Okay, thank you, Peter.
Well, to